Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elistar Velgaros, and welcome to Satisfactory. We're finally going to be getting into a proper playthrough of Satisfactory. I have done many live streams in the past. I have done... I actually, this is my second attempt at recording this series, but there were complications transitioning between 1.0 and 1.1 with the nuclear power plant. I'm just going to go ahead and completely restart. And the goal for this series is to give more of a introduction to the series, basically to help new players get into Satisfactory, because this game, I'm not going to lie to you, is a time sink. Okay, my previous attempt at recording this series, I have brought about 376 hours in my old world. I think it was 376. No, 372. I was close. But yeah, this game is going to take a lot of time. A lot of which is going to be cut out for the sake of showing you guys what I'm doing in my playthrough. But you know, it's going to be a while. So if you're new to the Satisfactory, hello, welcome to the game. You are going to develop OCD playing this game. I'm warning you right now. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go through the whole game. I am going to be going through the intro sequence probably in this first episode. So if you are a returning player to Satisfactory, if you're a veteran of playing Satisfactory, you could probably just go ahead and skip this video and move right on to episode 2. But for those of you who are new to the game, I'm going to go ahead and go through the entire onboarding process, explain to you guys what's going on in terms of the story, and, you know, my brain just shut down right there for a minute. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and just make our world. So, Satisfactory is a single static map. The map is the exact same every single time you boot up the game, okay? All of the nodes are in the exact same spot. All of the resources, the biomes, everything is exactly the same. Okay, so I have been playing this game ever since the third update of the game when pipes were introduced. So I'm a pretty decent veteran of this game, and I, at least personally, like to start in the desert. It's not recommended for new players to start in the desert, but I'm going to be starting in the desert and showing you guys, you know, where's a good place to set up is and how to manage your power and get into the more consistent parts of the game. Okay, so we're going to be starting in the Dune Desert. We're going to be calling this the Black Sand Factory 5.0. We're not skipping the intro, and we're not turning on any multiplayer settings or advanced settings. Straight, normal playthrough. Let's go.
Separation from main transport complete. Group 8 delivered to Calistian region. All pioneers functional, initiating dispersion. Attention Pioneer, I am Ada.
Hello,
your
Ada.
personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant. Welcome to the Fixit Incorporated Save the Day program. A Fixit Pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fixit guidelines and instructions when constructing any building. Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure. Explore and exploit. Fix-It selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation. Stay within your designated. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you.
Huh?
Fix-It. Short-term solutions to long-term problems. Initiating planetfall. Atmospheric entry in 3, 2, 1. Beginning arrow assist. Drag within acceptable parameters. Descent phase begun. Decelerating. Deploying parachute. Deploying backup parachute. Skipping parachute. Landing phase begun. Activating retro propulsion.
Oh my god. The music.
Touchdown. Planetfall complete. Drop pod integrity nominal. Omni-situational exploration suit nominal. Pioneer. Acceptable.
Acceptable. Ah. Smell that fresh, sandy air. Get our trusty build gun.
Congratulations. You are the third in your region to survive planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, AB-B, in the binary system of Akicha.
Ba-da-doom.
Loading objective-based introduction. Begin onboarding.
Alright, here we go.
First contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien megafauna. Adhere to Fix-It procedure and equip the Fix-It Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
Got our little taser.
Next objective.
Zappy zappy.
Dismantle the drop pod. Fix-It Incorporated as cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste. The drop pod will be recycled to construct the first stage of the habitat and utility base, often referred to as the hub.
Alright. Dismantle the drop pod. And we're gonna get going.
Next objective. Use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able to build the hub. If you cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient iron sources.
I'm just gonna let Ada talk for a little bit.
Next objective. Use the build gun to construct the hub. Iron is a base component necessary for all near-future progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources. Fix-It does not pay by the kilometer.
Okay. I think she's gonna shut up now. Alright, so welcome to the Dune Desert in Satisfactory. We are going to be located in the top right section of the map, of the entire map, I should say. And pretty much, there is a spot that is close to some plants that we're going to set up.
Samples of new alien species acquired. Notable features are blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous, and a thickly plated skull and spine, suggesting it is proficient at inflicting and receiving blunt force trauma. Preserve the remains for later study.
Okay. When you first hit planetfall, okay, it doesn't matter where you are on the map, you're going to find these tiny little rocks that could be of quartz. There's a little bit of, I think that's either limestone or sulfur over there. But if you see these rocks, mine them.
Unknown crystalline mineral collected. This mineral is composed of the same chemical elements as quartz and may yield similar industrial functions. Store this potential resource for later use. Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state, and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate Fix-It helmets are of such high quality. Store this potential resource for later use.
Alright. There's also different berries and stuff that you can use to increase your health if you get hit.
Potential edible collected. Eating it and surviving does not count as a valid field test and does not generate enough data for Fix-It to make an informed decision. Store this potential resource for later use.
Okay. You got... Oh! Hello, Pigu. Okay. But yes, I'm going to be mining all the sulfur, all of the quartz that we find. And we're going to make our way over to where we're going to set up. There's another alien right here. These are called the spitters. Because these guys like spitting plasma at you. There we go.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth, and only turns volatile when exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Preserve the remains for later study.
Another thing that you're going to be coming across are these little drop pod things here. These are Fix-It machines that have crash landed on the planet, and they're going to see the little rectangular thing up there. We're going to get to that in a second. In the newest update, 1.1, that this video is being recorded on, you are now able to actually dismantle these things. You were not able to do that in the past. That is a new feature that they added that we have been asking for so long. But thankfully, Coffee Stain is very good at listening to their community and made that a feature in the game. So we can climb up here. Make sure to pick up all of this stuff as well that you see on the ground. This will all come in handy later. Trust me. So when you get up here, it's a drop pod. You can open the drop pod, and sometimes it will ask for like specific materials or even power to open. This one thankfully only requires a couple of iron rods that we have, so we can open that and collect the goodie inside, which is a hard drive. We'll get into what this does later.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for future analysis, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Alright. So, our inventory is looking kind of full, so let's give Mr. Pigu a little shock therapy here. And head on over this way. You're also going to notice that I'm doing a lot of slide jumping. Movement in Satisfactory is really weird. And it's all like momentum based. But it's a really good momentum based system. If you know how to exploit it, then you're going to be zooming all over the map. But yeah, basically, if you're slide jumping, it's a little bit faster than walking. Okay, but here we are. This right here is pretty much where we are going to be setting up shop. You're going to see that there's a whole bunch of trees nearby. There's a lake right there. This right here is usually where I start. There's a copper node right there. There's a couple of iron nodes just over that giant dune right there. And there's even more. There's one right there, one right there. Yeah. But I usually like setting up about right here. We don't have any like building materials yet, so we're gonna get into that. Let's build the hub.
Hub foundation built. The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fix-It pioneer, but essential for the next steps of onboarding. Once finished, the hub will function as your base of operations. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 1.
All right, so I hope you guys really like the sound of clicking, because we're going to be doing a lot of it. So, this is the hub. Yes, this is going to act as our quote-unquote home base. We're going to be building a lot of like elaborate buildings and bases later on, but this is essentially where most of all of our resources and stuff are going to be coming from. So, it's going to happen all here in the hub terminal. You go in here and you're going to notice that there are 10 tiers in the milestones. Tier 0 to tier 9. So, hub upgrade 1, all we need is a couple of iron rods. Sure thing. Select that. And what you would normally do is you would head over to the crafting bench here and you start making iron. All of those iron ore, all that iron ore that you've been collecting, you're going to come to the crafting bench, select iron ore, and then just hold down and craft. But I don't have any space in my inventory. Let's just drop a couple of things. You can hold space in order to craft iron ingots, or you can hold down on the craft button using your mouse. But I like holding space. And this little crafting noise is one that you guys are going to become very familiar with, because you're going to be hearing this a lot. So normally like I was saying, normally what you would do is you would sit here and craft a lot of iron ingots. A lot of iron ingots, because we're going to need them. So my editor is going to very politely speed up the process of me crafting everything. So yeah, if the video just speeds up randomly, that's what I'm doing. I'm just crafting. All right. Once you have all of your iron ingots, of course, you're going to select your iron rods and you're going to craft a bunch of iron rods. But, you know, we already have a couple. Drag and drop, and then upgrade hub. And you can see it upgrade in real time.
Hub upgrade 1, storage and frame, completed. Equipment like the portable miner can now be made in the workshop. Congratulations on completing your first milestone, the first of many providing access to new recipes and technologies for the Fix-It mission. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 2.
All right, so hub upgrade 2 is going to require some rods and some plates. Once again, you would turn around, go to the crafting bench, make a bunch of plates, make a bunch of rods, and then put them in here. But another thing that we can do now is we can make a workshop. We're just going to throw that guy right there. You can come in here and you can make a whole bunch of different equipment. So, for example, portable miners. I'm going to go ahead and actually make a couple of these guys. Just so that way I can show you what they do. So, these little guys are the start of it all. You would go to a node, place it down, then he's going to take a look around and get set up. And down he goes. And this guy will sit here and start making, start collecting some ore. We're gonna let him, we're just gonna go ahead and let him do his thing here. And we're gonna come over here, place another one down right there. Alright. Teach the local fauna, the local, animal population. Hey, we're the rulers of this world now. Come over here and get upgrade 2 started. Uh-oh, we need more iron rods. Alright. You can also use left control, press down left control, and then click on the items to automatically just zoop them into the terminal.
Hub upgrade 2, power and shell, completed.
Yippee!
The smelter can turn raw ore such as copper and iron into ingots, and the biomass burner generates power when fueled. Fun fact, most of the native flora and fauna is compatible with Fix-It technology. Fueling the biomass burner with inappropriate materials will result in deductions or even cancellation of your yearly bonus. Next objective, complete Hub upgrade 3.
Alright, so yeah, now we have a biomass burner. We can make smelters and power lines. Hub upgrade 3 is going to require some plates, some rods, and a new material of wire. Wire, of course, is going to be made from copper. So let's gather some copper. So, what the game asks you to do, it asks you to make a smelter after you handcraft some wire. It asks you to make a smelter and use the smelter in order to make ingots, basically. So, since I'm doing a proper playthrough, I will play the game as necessary, or as the game instructs me to play. But normally, when I play Satisfactory, I don't use these biomass burners on the back of the hub. They're not very efficient. So, biomass burners obviously take biomass in order to create power. The desert is not very friendly when it comes to biomass. But you can find some of these bushes all around the map here that you can pick up for leaves and eventually to turn into solid biomass and stuff. And that's also the reason why we're setting up over here by the river, so that way we're close enough to all of that flora and trees and stuff so we can make power. So, let's make a couple more iron rods. Then, we're going to make 2 smelters. We're going to hook one there, and one right there. Alright, we're going to take our power lines now. You can go into your crafting menu under power, your power lines, or you can set them to your hotbar just by hovering over what you want in the build menu and then pressing like the appropriate number in which you want it on your hotbar. I like having it on 2 because it's really just super easy. Oh, we can only... It's only one hookup. Okay, that makes sense. So, when you go into the smelter, obviously it's going to provide you with a menu of what you want the smelter to make. We're going to select copper, throw our copper ingots in there, and then feed the biomass burner with a couple of leaves, and then it makes copper. This one over here, we can go ahead and set that to make iron. But yeah, you can see, oh, we're making, what is that, 20 megawatts of power? And we're only using about 4. Power is going to be one of the annoyances of this game, because you have to regulate your power so that way your fuses don't break and your factories shut down. We'll go over all of the tips and tricks that I know about power regulation and stuff later on, but for now, you don't need a whole lot in the beginning of the game. So we're just gonna let it all just go, you know? So let's make some more wire. Then, actually, we don't need iron plates. I just need a lot of iron rods. And let's complete Hub Upgrade 3. Ba-da-dum.
Hub Upgrade 3, Interior Furnishing, completed. The constructor can produce simple parts, and power poles allow for the expansion of the power grid. When you make the inevitable mistake, Fixit's dismantling feature is designed to salvage all resources used during construction, in line with our zero-waste policy. We understand that Fixit pioneers are only human, and thus prone to error. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 4.
Alright, so now we have power poles. I like keeping these on my first hotbar slot. And we have constructors. These things are awesome. I love constructors. You can put them down, for example, here. And you could set them to make things for you. Now, you probably noticed, what was that thing that we saw when you put it down? When you put down machines, you can see that, like, the smelter has those green arrows for an output, and the constructor has these orange arrows for an input. And when you line them up by pressing left control, you can see the dotted lines that go into each other. This just signifies that the machines are centered on their output and inputs. So that's going to come into play later. Okay? So for now, we're going to set this guy up to make some wire. We're going to put a power pole right here and take our power line from here and go there. You can see that the power pole has an input. I'm going to take those out so I'm not wasting power. When you use power poles, the Mark I power poles have 4 inputs. So 1 is going directly into our power supplier. So we can take another wire and go to this smelter. Don't worry about that, that's fine. We can take another wire and go into this smelter. And the 4th wire into the constructor. So let's throw our leaves back in there. Reactivate the fuse box. And you can see now all of our machines are powered. We could take the copper from in here, throw it in there, return to our drills, pick up the copper, throw it in there. Come over here, pick up all these leaves around the ore here. Take our iron and do the same thing. Like I said, this is how the game wants you to play. Uh-oh. Fuse blown. What happened? You look, uh-oh, we're out of power. That makes sense. So, we gotta go collect some more biomass. So you can come on over here and just start destroying the local fauna. And look, we found some Caterium. We're going to collect this too while we're here.
Unknown metal collected. This metallic element is showing properties similar to those in Group 11 on the periodic table, such as high conductivity and malleability. Store this potential resource for later use.
All right. So yes, we're going to be running around. We're going to be picking up all these leaves and stuff. So we're going to need them for power. When you're out exploring, make sure that you are paying attention, though, because a lot of the aliens on this planet do not like you. Make sure to have your trusty zapper and bapper away on hand, just in case if you do indeed get attacked at any point in time. All right. That little thing right there, we're going to get into that at a later date and time. But we have about 300 leaves or so. Yeah. This should be good for a little bit. Let's head back. Let's head back. We're going to go into here and then throw all of our leaves in there. Do I have the ability to make... I don't. Okay. Forget I said anything. What we are going to do, actually, though, is we're going to take some of our wire, make some cables. We're going to make another constructor here. Disconnect that in order to put down another power pole. Then hook this guy up. And this guy is going to make us some... Let's just say iron rods. Yeah, sure. Take the iron, put it in. Okay. So now we got to start paying attention to our power supply. Okay? Power is really weird. Okay? You can see over here the biomass burner is burning 80 leaves per minute and producing 20 megawatts. Its capacity, which is this top gray line here, is 20 megawatts. Our production is the amount of power being used or being produced on the grid. The blue line is the amount of power that will be consumed if all of our machines were turned on at the same time. And then the orange line shows the amount of power that is currently being used. The most important thing about power grids is to keep the gray line above everything else. That is the most important thing. All right, hub upgrade 4. We're going to need some plates, some cables, and a new resource, concrete. Oh boy, all right. I'm actually going to go ahead and make 2 portable miners here. So that way we can handle some concrete. We head over this way. I'm going to pick up these leaves on the way. Pick up these leaves and sticks on the way. There is a concrete node or a limestone node just over here through all the flora. Right here. So, we're going to put two guys down here because we're going to need a lot of concrete. Like, tons of concrete. Okay? But the stuff that we have dismantled already, we already have some. But basically, you would take limestone and turn the limestone into concrete. Alright, we're going to pick up our material here. Nice, nice. Alright, then we're going to get everything back up and running. Beautiful. Alright, what we're also going to do is split that. Do that. Okay. Let's make some cable. We're going to throw the caterium, the animal stuff away, and then complete the next part. Boom.
Hub Upgrade 4, Landing Platform and Utilities, completed. Conveyor belts connect the output of one building to the input of another and transport resources. Due to past incidents, I have been asked to issue a clarification. Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts. There is nothing to suggest, visually or functionally, that they can be connected to portable miners. If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 5.
Alright, so now we have the ability to make conveyor belts, which is going to help us with this. So, you can connect a conveyor belt from the smelter to the constructor, and then watch as your ingots just flow into the machines. Just like that. Conveyor belts are obviously one of the most important things of Satisfactory, because you're going to be making a lot of them. A lot of them. Alright, we still have 4 megawatts that we can play around with. So, can we make another constructor? We can! So, what we can do is we can turn this off to the side, like so. Connect that up, and then get a belt going into here. Turning our wires into cable. core gameplay, all right here. Hub upgrade 5 is going to consist of 75 rods, 50 cables, and 20 concrete. So let's do that. Uh-oh, I need rods. Okay, but yeah, anyway, concrete. We love concrete. And then boom, boom, and boom. Whee!
Hub Upgrade 5, Power Expansion, completed. The miner, unlike portable miners, can be connected to conveyor belts and requires power to function. Caution: as you expand, the energy demand of your production may exceed the capacity of your power grid. The onboarding program was established because Fix-It pioneers often experience memory issues after planetfall. If you are experiencing nosebleeds, nausea, existentialism, or an itchy scalp, there is no need for concern. This should pass within 5 to 7 workdays. Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 6.
Okay. So, we're actually going to go ahead and pick up our miners now. And we're going to let our machines do their thing. In fact, we also got another biomass burner. So now we can have 40 megawatts into our system here. Our power is actually about to die in 3, 2, 1. Nope, I'm adding wood. Haha. Alright. Hub Upgrade 6 is going to give us actual biomass, the good biomass burners, inventory slots, and then the next big objective. Alright, so for this, we need wires. We're going to put a pause on the cable production and let the wire build up. We're also going to need some plates. So, let's see here. How many plates do we have? Oh, yeah, that's not good. Alright, so we obviously got to change some stuff around. And as Ada mentioned, we have miners now. Miners can actually hook up to these little nodes here that we've been getting all of our resources from and provide us with an infinite stream of resources as long as they are powered. And you'll notice that when you look at the ore, it says iron ore pure. There are 3 different types of nodes in the game. There is pure, normal, and impure, all of which provide different numbers of materials when you mine them. So, if we toss down a miner on a pure iron node, you'll see that the node provides 120 iron per minute. That's a lot of iron. The problem with this, unfortunately, is our conveyor belts can only move 60 items per minute. So it's not going to be exactly efficient, but it's something. So we can move all this. And now that we have the 100 wire, we can go ahead and turn cable production back on. And you can turn machines on and off by pressing this little standby button down here. So we're going to switch this to iron plates now. Throw the iron back in. and then let that cook up. We have the concrete. So let's come over here, and we're going to set up this little iron node here. So from the miner, we're going to come out, and we're going to put down a smelter. Hook that up with a belt. Then the smelter... Uh-oh, we need more cable. There we go. And from the smelter, we're going to put down a constructor. And then bring a little conveyor belt right there. Set this to iron. And then we're going to set this one to iron plates, I guess. We're going to get a power pole right there. Hook up power here, here, and there. Take it all the way back over here. And then hook it up. Perfect. And how are we looking on our grid? Uh-oh, that's not good. We're using 25 megawatts, and we only have 20 available. Perhaps we should hook up this other guy. Boop. And then... whoops, hold on, nope. We're gonna boop that. Boop that. Reset the fuse. There we go. Now we have enough power. Let's go get some more fauna, why don't we? Alright, I am back with roughly about 1,000 leaves, but we are only going to be using about 250 of them for now. Alright, that machine is done. And the wire is still going. Okay. So, let's come back over here and check out what's going on over here. Yeah! Look at all that iron. Sweet. Alright. Then, we're going to come over here and pretty much do the exact same thing with the copper. I'm going to come over here. I'm gonna have to turn this around here. Let's get miner, smelter, and the constructor. Put that up, put that up. Power pole there. Yeah, we can pretty much just hook this up anywhere, really. Boop. There we go. So how I was mentioning before, how the pure node was giving us 120 iron per minute, this normal copper node is only giving us 60. So that's going to be the perfect amount to get us what we need. We're going to get wire, and then what we'll also do is we're going to throw down another constructor. That's going to make us cable. Gonna put another power pole here to extend the power grid into there. Perfect. And then we're just going to let this one just run out as time moves on. Alright, what are we missing in terms of materials for Hub Upgrade 6? We need some rods. Let's grab some extra iron that the Iron Boy is making. And of course, we could make some iron on our own. And just finish out the iron. The iron plates, however, that's a different story. How are we doing over here in terms of iron plate production? Nice. We have all 100. I think that's going to be everything that we need. So let's put a pause on this. Pick up the leaves. And complete Hub Upgrade 6. Boom, 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 and boom. Uh-oh, we can't. We don't have the wire. Hold on. Take that, take that. Hold on. I can fix this. I can fix this. We'll make it all better, Chad. We'll make it all better. Guys, don't worry. Don't worry. Everything's going to be just fine. Alright. And boom. Hub Upgrade 6 complete.
Hub Upgrade 6. Landing platform hydraulics completed. Freighter landing initialized. Congratulations, you have completed onboarding and achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Fix-It Pioneer.
Woohoo!
Fix-It looks forward to your future achievements, because a future with Fix-It is a future with you. Tier 1 and 2 milestones are now available in the hub, and biomass burners can now be built individually. Your first official objective is to initiate project assembly by building the space elevator. This objective will take a significant amount of resources, so Fix-It recommends getting to work.
Of course. Okay, so with that, guys, basic assembly and onboarding is done. So the next objective is going to be to build the space elevator. That's the next major goal, I should point out. But there's a whole bunch of like different side objectives that we can do to help make things a little bit easier. So, yeah, it's going to be a little different. Other than that, I think that's pretty much where we're going to go ahead and end today's episode. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys are going to be enjoying the Satisfactory series, make sure to hit subscribe, give me a like. And next episode, we're going to start working on a couple of side milestones before we actually get into the space elevator stuff. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and activate my golden nut. Oh my god, look at this. This is so cute. When did they add this? When did they add this? This is so cute. Okay. Okay, that's super adorable. But yeah, character customization is in here on the hub. Alright. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.